Throw it, Dad. Throw it. Please, Dad. I need it. Woo!
Oh. Wait, hold on a second. Where's my bed at? What the hell? My bed's gone!
While you were throwing that ball at me, I had a team of experts come into your room and take it out.
Huh? They're gone.
And you fell for it like a fool.
No!
That's what you get for trying to leave the podcast, guys. Today is Hoover's last day on the podcast. Ode to Hooverr. And we're going to try to send him off with a nice episode. We're going to try to be a little nice to him and, you know, try to go through some of the nice times that we had together.
Yeah, and I know I've been getting a lot of DMs, thousands of DMs from people, you know, begging me, Hooverr, why are you leaving? Can you please stay? And sorry, I'm getting a little choked up already because it's been such a fun ride. And I'm trying to have a sentimental moment and you're just picking at your teeth.
Don't mind me. Focus on yourself.
I won't. I've had such a great journey on this podcast, and what's
the matter? You don't know how to talk?
No, I don't know. There's like a ghost outside, I think. But no, yeah, I've had like a great time and it's been like a lot of fun, but I think, you know, we're just going to be going our separate ways. And yeah, this guy's a fucking asshole who doesn't fucking respect me, so he just makes a bunch of fucking faces. Like, dude, look at you. You're a grown man. Act grown. I'm joining Machinima Realm, if anyone wanted to know why I'm leaving. They hired me the fucking senior advisory board position.
What qualifications do you have to get that role?
Bruce Green rated me once. So
okay.
Yeah, I'm moving on to bigger and better things. I don't need this podcast anymore. Everyone that watched this piece of donkey shit can go to hell.
If anything, it would be dog shit because it's in the name.
Oh, cool dog. More like whack dog. You're a whack dog, dude.
Oh, gee, that's real clever.
Yeah.
I'm sure the executives of Machinima are going to appreciate your creative input.
C-Nanners loves me. Hutch loves me. Yeah.
Hutch Dano from Zeke and Luther.
Who got out of jail? What's that?
No, that was actually the other one. That was
Adam. That was Adam. Never
Adam
mind.
Hicks or something.
Adam Hicks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who agreed to actually come on COOLDOG in a TikTok comment and then actually terrified to actually ever have him on.
See, here's my problem with that was I got scared because in the video that I wrote, the whole part of like Pair of Kings, because he ended up going on that show, I wrote this whole thing mocking him.
Oh my God.
Because I read through his entire criminal case and I was like, this guy, I don't think he's a good person. Like,
no, he's not.
There's a lot, you know, at first it's like, oh, it's a cute little armed robbery, but turns out more happened. So I was like, you know, I don't, and then now he's out, you know, before I could release the video. Granted, I am taking my time, clearly, but they let him out and now my life's in danger. So I'm going to need to get my team of writers to maybe edit that part. And maybe I'm going to be really nice to him and be like, you know what? He should rob places with a weapon.
Oh, you believe that he should have been freed earlier?
I think he should have never been arrested. Well, actually, okay, here's what he did. Here's part of what he did. He drove through suburbs with his girlfriend and then randomly pulled up on people, pointed a gun at them, and like robbed them.
Oh my God. What the fuck? Can you imagine getting robbed by fucking Zeke and Luther? Like, that'd be insane. Like, give me all your money.
If he would have ran up to me, I would have been like, oh my God, Adam Hicks, Zeke and Luther. I used to literally like watch that show with my best friend all the time. Like, it was every week when there was a new, and then he pulls a gun out. Like, what the fuck? That's terrible.
Aims at your head. He's like, give me all your money in your fucking wallet. And you're like, oh, here's my iPhone.
Dude, never meet your heroes, huh? Like, what if like Jack's Films did that to me? I go up to Jack's Films like, Jack, YGS, it was brilliant. And then he takes out a little Beretta.
He just like shanks you a bunch of times in the stomach, and he's like, "Give me your chain, give me your chain." He takes the chain off you and runs away.
But to anyone that actually needs a clarification, Hoover's not leaving the podcast. He's leaving Austin, Texas. He's out of there.
Which is, you know, it's like nothing. It's like oh whatever.
Oh
like,
yeah,
it's whatever. It's awesome.
It's just Texas.
It's just Texas. It was awesome, Texas. I already lived there for 3 years. It's whatever. But yeah, my bed has officially been moved out of this room because since we only have a month left I realized like last year that the reason why my room just gets randomly hot is because my PC is like overclocked and will like decide to
Damn,
fucking become
son.
like a heating thing. And so then I will like wake up and sweating and just be like, why am I fucking sweating right now? And it's because my PC's heating up. So then I moved my bed into the Aksually room. Thanks
Mhm.
to him giving such a good green light for me to be able to move in. I had to move a bunch of
Never was informed of this decision up until the bed was already in
tissues
there.
were on the ground. There's tissues everywhere. I had to pick up. Kind of looked like there was somebody squatting in our house for a bit, but
I had
it's not
a
a big
cousin in
deal.
Austin. I was trying to
Oh,
do him a favor after I left. He said he needed a place, so right before I left, I snuck him in.
did your cousin have like some kind of cold? Because why were there so many sticky tissues on the ground?
Yeah, he's it was most people they get like their little allergies during spring, but he actually gets them during autumn. So
Oh,
he actually passed away recently because of them. So
oh. Then where was his body in the room? I didn't see him. Like, did he like move out before I got in, or like, because like that door
well,
was usually open?
you're gonna have to ask Trevor about that.
Trevor, did he dispose of the body?
I'm not at liberty to say.
You got to speak to your legal team. Actually
Yeah,
Incorporated.
my legal team said I'm not allowed to say anything.
Okay.
That's a
first
cute
part
little
was-
voice crack.
That first part was not actually planned, but the second part was. I was like, oh, and I was like, oh, I just got to go with the fucking voice crack now. No, but yeah,
One
I'm moving
thing-
out of Austin.
One thing I got to say that I really enjoyed about Austin was that one time we got barbecue. I really liked the barbecue. The barbecue was really good. Even though like I ate it and I was like, oh, I gotta go sleep for 4 days. It was very yummy. I enjoyed the barbecue a lot.
Shout out Terry Black's barbecue. If you're
Yeah,
from Austin, you know about Terry Black's barbecue.
And you get a cool little cup. You get to keep the cup that you
Mhm.
put your little drink in, which is fun. Yeah, it was a fun little family outing. Trying to think of what like I think my favorite thing about Austin was the backyard hangouts. Those were like
Those
my
were
favorite
so
thing.
fun. I'm gonna miss those so much. It's like going in the
Yeah.
backyard, lighting a fire, maybe lighting a cigarette, a marijuana
Mhm.
cigarette, and then
Mm-hmm.
discussing with the fellas. It was always such a good time.
I remember one day me and Trevor were in the backyard of the house, and it was like during the day. I think it was the day where like Prezzo and Stompa got there, and that day was like insanely hot. It was like I went outside and I felt like I was in a fucking sauna, and then me and Trevor were just smoking a cigarette in this like heat outside. And I've never had like a more of like an outer body experience in my life. Like I just felt like it felt like I was in a sitcom. It felt like
Yeah.
it wasn't real because of the just the amount of heat entering my body. That's I guess the one thing I didn't really like about Austin was the summer was just my Estonian ass
brutal.
could not handle it.
Dude, anybody's ass can't handle it if they're not like fucking born on Mars. Like, literally got up to like 120 degrees some days, and you'll just be like, "Oh, I'm gonna
Literally
die."
insane.
This is it. It's awful when it gets to summer, but I mean, now it's winter, so you know what that means it's like fucking 80 degrees now. Finally, wow, 80 degrees in like
dude.
fucking January.
It's about to get like I think tonight it's like negative 18 degrees here Celsius.
Oh my
It's
god,
cold here. It's cold.
Damn.
Which okay,
Brr.
I need to talk about something. Something crazy happened. And I'm
Speak
like
your mind.
completely bewildered by this experience that I've just gone through. Yesterday, I was sitting on my balcony and I accidentally left a cup out there. I left like a mug out there. I have this like little table. I have a little bench that I could sit on, and I left the mug on the table.
Mm-hmm.
I go back today to retrieve the mug because I'm thinking, okay, I better get that. It's getting really cold outside. Might as well. It's gone. There is
Whoa.
there was snow on the table that I left it on, and there's like a little like circle where it was. It's not there, and I looked all over the floor. It's not been blown off. It's literally just gone, and I know that I left it out there. I know that I did not bring it inside.
That's funny you say that because I was like, maybe it's in your room. I see a mug right now. I see a proper mug right now, actually. Do you see it?
Yeah, I see it, dude. I see it.
Do you
but
see
I'm like
it?
actually going.
Where
I'm
is
going
it?
through.
Where is it then? Is it in
right
blue?
here.
Is it in a blue? Yeah, it's right there.
Yep, it's right. Yep, it's me. I'm the mug.
Proper mug.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I'm actually going through something right now. Like there could have been a man that climbed onto my balcony, took my mug and
stole
left.
Your mug. He like scaled your like fucking apartment and was like, "I'm gonna take this mug and I'm gonna get out of here."
Because okay, here's another thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Couple, and this is what I feel terrible about this.
Oh my god.
My balcony has these like, it's like the floor is like these like wood little things, and there's like very small cracks in between them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have guests over, and like sometimes they smoke cigarettes. So there was like an ashtray out there, and at one point I was like trying to take the ashtray so I could empty it, but I accidentally dropped it, and like 2 cigarettes fell through the cracks onto my downstairs neighbor's balcony.
Oh my god.
And like I just can't stop thinking about it. Like I just know that they fucking hate me. That they probably found the cigarettes, and they're probably like planning on murdering me.
Can you imagine if it was like a lit cigarette and just caught like their whole apartment on fire? They're like,
Well,
how'd this happen? How'd this happen? And they see like a lit cigarette on the balcony. Like an episode of Curb. The country.
I would try to avoid that. I would. That would be like a Larry David situation. Like, oh.
What do you mean? It's just a cigarette, and then the fucking whole apartment burns down. He's like, it was caused by a lit cigarette, and he's like looks around. And he's like, do. It would happen. It would happen.
I am actually like, I'm like half joking about it, but I am legitimately just completely fucking puzzled on where that fucking mug went. Part of me was like, okay, maybe there was wind and it like blew it off, and because it was so cold, it was like very, kind of like, weak.
Yeah.
And it shattered. But like there was, I literally took my flashlight out, crawled on the floor looking for like a single little like, because it was a glass one, so there would be like little glass shards. There was nothing.
Yeah.
There's just no. It's completely disappeared without a trace.
Interesting. And you're exactly like 100% sure you never brought it inside. Like you never like, oh wait, I did bring it in like 3 a.m. in the middle of the night.
I am 100% sure that I didn't bring it in, because I remember I walked inside without it because I was supposed to bring it in. I walked inside and I was like, oh fuck, I didn't bring it, but I already had taken my jacket off, so I was like, I'll go get it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not there.
Damn.
And it's just, it couldn't have been blown off the balcony. There's just no way that it would have been like the logistics are not there for it to have been blown over the edge. It's not on the ground. I genuinely like, I don't know what did like a squirrel come and take it? Like,
no,
is that a possibility?
This sounds like a fucking Walt Disney movie of like what actually happened, or like if this happened, this is like a fucking cartoon. But I was like trying to imagine it too. I'm like, how would this have actually gotten like taken off with no traces or whatever? Like, literally, that means like a bird would have had to like have flown in onto your balcony, picked up the fucking mug, and just like flew off with it. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why they would want to pick up a random mug, or like what they thought was like significant about it. But like, that's the only explanation if there's like actually no other like traces of it. Like, it didn't fall down in the snow. It didn't whatever.
After this, I'm gonna go check it out again. I'm gonna try to like, I just double check it. Even though I checked every crevice, I walked back and forth. I don't know. I'm like just genuinely puzzled. And and I'm also gonna like try to look around my apartment. If I somehow brought it in, I gotta go get like my brain checked. Like, what the fuck? Because I literally swear on my life, there's no way I brought it inside. If it's inside, the man must have brought it inside.
The man. The Estonian man brought it inside.
The wanderer, the man who climbs up balconies and shit. Because I'm not even on the like, I'm not gonna dox myself here, but I'm a little bit off the ground here in my apartment. Okay, let's just say that it's not as easy as it would appear. You know what I mean? You gotta scale that shit.
Yeah,
it's a conquering mission. So, like, what the fuck? What if like, oh my god, what if I end up getting like killed and this was like a warning sign by my murderer?
They could be anywhere. What if like a guy just like crawled underneath from the fucking couch and was like scurried off? How was that?
Well, that's a new thing to be scared of.
This seems like it's going to be like an Estonian horror movie. I mean, if you don't actually figure out where this went, then like either one, a cartoon comical like bird came in and picked up and stole your mug, or you are just losing your mind, which I don't think any of those are good, exactly like good at like end results.
I would say, yeah, I would prefer not to lose my mind, to be honest with you. I don't
want you to lose your mind either, by the way.
Oh, thanks. Thanks a lot. That means
like
a lot.
I'm praying for you.
Oh, thanks. That means a lot. I appreciate you. Not a lot of people pray for me, so that means a lot.
Hey. Praying for you.
Hey. I don't know. It happened a few hours ago, and it's pretty. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it kind of right after I went in and I sat on the toilet, and it like got to me. Like, I'm not kidding.
Really?
I was sitting there and I was kind of like, what the fuck? Like, where did it go? Like, I was like, kind of like, why do I keep getting these puzzles in my life where like it's these random things where like that mug just disappeared, and it's like not even my mug, it's my landlord's mug. Like, what am I gonna do?
You're about to get kicked out of your fucking apartment if you don't find that shit.
What if it's a test by my landlord?
Ooh, do you think that actually could have happened? Like, does your landlord have the key to get in and then they took it off the balcony in the middle of the night while you were sleeping?
That would be really fucking scary. That would be really scary, because I'd be like, what the fuck? Second of all, I'd be like, let's just say, the apartment needs a little bit of a clean right now. That would be embarrassing.
Yeah. They come and you're like, Uber Eats on the ground, cigarettes on the balcony. What's going on in here?
Oh God, I don't know. But what I'll keep the Cool Dog Nation posted on whatever happens, and I will be. I'm not gonna live tweet it just in case maybe I need to go to the police. Someone stole my mug.
You need to go to Smule Live. You need to go on Smule Live and actually do that.
We're trending on there. We're trending on Smule. Yeah, two of my usernames, and then like two of my usernames are at the top, and then like you're like number 11th.
Really? I didn't even know I could trend on Smule. I caught it like that was so funny when we did your Smule Live, and I was like, this is such a fucking piece of shit dog shit app. Like, we broke the record with 82 viewers. Like, wow, we really did this. And then some guy joins in. He's like, hey, Aksel, do you want to become like a Smule Live ambassador? And I was like, I apologize. I'm sorry about this. Like, I think Smule is amazing. I think it's great.
No, literally right before that, I was like, why would I fucking bot on this shitty ass app?
Can you imagine paying for Smule bots to be in your fucking Smule Live? Like, why would you, like, I don't even know how you get fucking, like, found on Smule Live. Like, when you told me to join your Smule Live, I had to, like, look for it. I was like, where is there, like, a live tab? And then I, like, clicked on your profile picture, and then there's, like, at the top right corner, like, this big, I, like, saw, like, live, and then I clicked on it, and I was like, oh, there he is. But now you're Smule ambassador, man. How do you feel?
Well, not yet. I still have to talk to Smule, but it's looking promising. And if I get to be a Smule ambassador, I'll be very happy, because I think it's a great app. I think it's a really fun app. Like, I think, and it has like a huge diversity of people on there, and a lot of these people they really, really enjoy it. Like, it's everyone's just kind of trying to have a good time. Except for something like weird happened in the Smule Live. Like, at the end, there was like some like middle-aged lady that was in the comments, and I could tell that was like a legit user. And then some other middle-aged lady joined. I think like her name was like Martha or something, Martha Johnson or something. I don't mean to like dox them.
It was Jake Johnson's mother. She was in the chat.
Yeah, maybe, could be. And she was literally just like, she said to the other middle-aged lady, like, You're fat as fuck. Like, you shouldn't be talking in here. And I was like, what?
Oh my God. Jesus.
I literally saw that and I was like, what the fuck? Because they both had like profile pictures of like, like moms. Like, it just like kind of like mom pictures. So I was like,
oh my God.
I had to call. I called it out immediately, because I'm not gonna lie, I just felt bad. I was like, what the fuck?
Damn.
So I guess there's like a little beef on Smule too.
Fat phobes. There's fat phobia on Smule. They're like,
fat phobia is rampant on Smule. What a tragedy. Also, I don't know if you saw these after the Smule Live. I did like a bunch of like group performances, meaning like everybody can like put their voice on the song.
Oh my God.
Everyone's like singing along. I did 3 ones. I did "See You Soon" by Biba Doobie.
Biba Doobie.
I did "Peroxide" by Echo 2K, and then "Passion Fruit" is the one that really popped off. It has over 1,000 plays on the website, which is like viral. And it has, I think it has like close to 100 people singing on it.
Oh my god.
Or like, I don't know, somewhere between 50 and 100. And I love it. I'm obsessed. That's my new obsession.
You found your people on Smule, man. I think you're gonna be the biggest Smule ambassador there is.
Yeah, I think I hope so. I hope I can make a career out of this.
That'd be insane to like you become Smule ambassador. Like, okay, here's your starting salary. You're like, what? Starting salary? Like, I get like
Holy
paid for
shit.
this? Like, that's how I get paid? Damn.
COOLDOG now exclusively on Smule.
Wait, dude, that's like sounds stupid, but like that could be like an insane like format where like they turn into like they have podcasts and you can do live podcasts and then we're the first. We're the globetrotters of it.
We'd probably have a better conversion rate than when Joe Rogan went to Spotify.
Real. We'd have 15
Like the
million
percentage.
listeners.
Yeah. And then like we would develop a whole new audience just from the people that are on there already waiting for us to get on there.
We'd have the fucking 45 to like 60-year-old mom demographic nailed. Like everyone would be listening to COOLDOG.
Yeah, exactly. But also we have questions today. We figured, you know what? It's been a second since we've taken just, general, done a little Q&A, AMA, ask me anything, Reddit Gold.
Give us some
moment.
karma.
Exactly. So we tweeted out, we said, give us some questions. And I got to hand it to you guys this time. You guys did a good job. Like usually I give you guys a little bit of shit and I make fun of you a little bit because a lot of the questions are a little bit, we've
They're a little bit like
seen this
goofy.
question.
They're like,
Yeah, a little
have
silly.
you ever kissed a girl on the lips kind of thing? And it's like, yes.
Of course, obviously. Like that's
Obviously.
all we do. But,
Basically
like,
all the time.
let's break some new ground. And this time there's some silly questions that I actually enjoy. And then there's a lot of, I don't know, you guys kind of, you were on your like philosophical shit. Like there's a lot of little thought-provoking questions that are a little bit original, questions that I haven't really gotten before.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just gonna
We're going to
go
do
through
that.
them, I guess. I'll start with this one.
Go ahead.
Maya asked, Maya loves cats. Really stupid and boring, which is a great way to start any question.
That's okay. Move on. Let's skip this one. I don't fucking care anymore.
But what do you think your careers would be like if you never met each other or most of your friends you stream with?
That's interesting. That's a good question, Sean Evans, Maya.
Yeah, nice job, Maya.
It's one of those things where, like, I mean, if I didn't know anyone that I know now streaming, I don't know, because I started off being YouTube. I mean, we both started off doing YouTube, so it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we would definitely be like, I feel like in a different group. I don't know how like heavily I would be on like Twitch. I feel like now, but I feel like in a way I probably would still try to have like done content. But like if I didn't know like anyone I knew from the beginning, then like I would have been like a graphic designer. Like genuinely straight up, I wouldn't have even tried YouTube. It was just because it's a lot of it was like the right place, right time. I knew a lot of people, and then all those people ended up blowing up, and then they're like, "Hey, you should do YouTube," and then I did it, and then I kind of had a thing, and then now I'm here on COOLDOG. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, that's the case for the both of us. I think we were just like we got kind of lucky, like both ended up being in the
content sphere,
pretty much in the right, literally the right exact time in the right place. Which I feel like that's honestly the case for most content creators. There's very little content creators that just kind of like they were like, I'm gonna post a video and then I'm gonna blow up. It's usually it starts off like there's a knowing people and kind of like helping each other out. That's a big part of growing as a content creator, I think. Yeah, especially with the kind of stuff that we do. If I wasn't on Twitch, I probably like would have forced myself to keep doing YouTube, and I would still do that. But without any of that, I honestly couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you because I turned out very differently to a lot of people that I grew up with. Even a lot of people I went to high school with. Like if you compare our lives now, it's just not very. It's not. I don't know. Like we're very different people. So I think me getting into the online sphere and like meeting all these people, not only did it completely changed my career trajectory, it also just completely changed me as a person. So it's very hard for me to say what I would have been doing. Honestly, maybe I would have like, I was at one point when I was a teenager, I was thinking about going to like culinary school and just becoming like a chef. But I don't know if I would have gone through with that. But that's like the only hint I really have about what I would have done. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, that was like the same for me. I was like, I had like a hint. I was like either graphic design or like social media marketing. But then I was like, oh, I'm not gonna do this shit anymore. Like
all these
I'm
little
gonna
influencers, they're always like, all these little influencers are always like, oh yeah, I would have done social media marketing. Like all of them, like if you ask them like what degree they got, like yeah, I got
social media marketing.
I got social communications.
It's like, I mean, like I already knew how to do that. Like I had a Twitter account that was like, all right. So like I could do that for anyone else. It's not a big deal. But that also kind of ties in a way to this next question. That's really interesting, where it's from Slay_Cass. So it's like kind of like Jake S, Slay Cass. Do you sometimes think about how you've actually changed some people's lives? Like my life and my ideologies have been heavily influenced by you. I was a cringe-eretic kid watching your videos, and now I'm a grown adult, and a lot of my personality stuff I learned through you. Which is like insane to really think about. First of all, it's already one thing to consider people watching Reddit videos that we were in. That's like a whole fucking like separate part of my brain that like I don't even look at anymore. It feels like, but like the fact that like,
and the fact that those people are still with us today, you know,
that's insane. Like that is actually insane. Crazy.
You've been through it with us, and that's like, you know, you get some respect for that. Yeah, I think about that a lot. There are times where I think about it. Most times when I think about it, it makes me feel kind of nice that I've been able to, I don't know, show people things that I think are cool, and kind of because I think especially like when I first popped up, I was like something that I think I kind of consciously did was I started to like be very vocal about my progressive values. Because at the time, a lot of our audience either were too young to like be into politics, or there's a lot of like centrist libertarians, and I was just kind of like, I need to like fix you people. And that's something that I'm really glad that I did, because every now and then someone comes to me and is like, yeah, like I wouldn't have gone into politics at the time that I did if it wasn't for you. And I'm like really glad that, you know, I kind of, it opened up my eyes to a lot of things, which is cool. And just in general, I don't know. It's a very, like, I feel very honored that us, you know, kind of goofing off and just kind of being ourselves has been able to influence people in, I hope, positive ways. But yeah, there are also times where definitely a little bit of imposter syndrome kicks in. This has been more of like a recent thing for me, where it's a little bit like, I think sometimes the idea that I struggle with is the notion that I try to, in general, the kind of perception that I give myself in public, I would like to think is pretty genuine to who I am. But the kind of rabbit hole that I've gone down sometimes is like, no matter how genuine I am, I know myself like way differently than my viewers know myself, and my friends know me way differently than my viewers know myself. I can't even really picture how my viewers see me as, because it's kind of like this amalgamation of all these things that I've given to the public that have then come together for, you know, how people perceive me. And in a way that does become a thing where the little bit of imposter syndrome kicks in, where I'm like, well, they don't really like everything they like. This image they have of me is like to some extent false, you know, like not necessarily in a bad way, but it's just like, it's impossible for me to like truly give my true self to the people. But I try my best.
Yeah. I feel like it's the same with me, where I'm like, I feel like sometimes I like take it for granted. I never really like think about it as much as I maybe should. But then there are times where like when I released the fucking Hooverr Smile merch shit, and like people are like actually buying it, and then they're like sending photos. I'm like,
exactly.
It's actually crazy. Like somebody out in the middle of the random of the world like watches me and was like, I want to get this guy's fucking face on like this random thing because I think he's like funny or cool or whatever. And I was like, that's like actually insane. That like, because like I don't even know like how many people I would do that to. Like, you know what I mean? Like I've watched so many people over the years. I don't know if I'd like want to get like any of their fucking random faces just like on merch. But I was like, when that was happening, I was like really thinking about it. I'm like, it is like crazy. Like I kind of just take for granted because I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm like an influencer, like I do my thing. But then there's like actually like people behind all of the numbers and shit. And it's like insane. And like people have just been watching. There have been people that have been watching from fucking when we did Reddit videos. There have been people that have been watching since we started streaming or like whatever. But it's crazy that, you know, we've even had like a little bit of an impact on some people's lives. So it's crazy.
Yeah, I think the coolest part to me has always been like building a community and helping people make friends. You know,
Yeah.
It's something that is I think it means a lot to me just because of like, you know, the whole reason I'm here is because of Toontown, and I have so many cool friends because of Toontown. So it's like the fact that we can provide something like that for people is it's a very warm feeling, and it kind of makes it all feel worth it at the end, you know, because sometimes I do get this like, because, you know, it's like being a fucking influencer, being like a content creator, it's like the least essential job of all time. You know what I mean? Like it's like
I don't know about that. I mean,
it's sometimes it kind of like gets to me where I'm like why do I even like what I do things, and I'm like, why do I expect people to care? You know what I mean? Like, why should anybody give a fuck? It's kind of like pretentious that I'm even sitting here being like, people should care about this, you know? But it's when I can see that, you know, people have made friends through our content, that's what kind of makes me be like, okay, there is kind of like a purpose to what I'm doing besides my own enjoyment, you know? Like there is something that outside of, obviously, you know, people do enjoy our content, which I'm really happy for. People do get something else out of that as well, which makes me glad. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the long-winded answer to that, I guess.
Like, we don't care. Like, fucking move on with your life. We don't give a shit.
We don't really give a fuck.
We make money off of you guys. Like, I don't fucking care. Like, you made a moment in my life, in my wallet.
This is a little bit of a more lighter question in the middle of all this, but it's just best album from last year. I was actually thinking about this recently.
God, I gotta think about that. That's tough.
I realized like I legit, like, realistically speaking, I should only have one answer, and I didn't realize this, but Laura Hell by Mitski was my most played album from last year. Like, I just was always listening to it, and I always thought like, yeah, this album's good, but I never like really clocked like, this album's really good. Like, I really love this album. So I gotta say, I guess for me it would be that one, I think.
I'm trying to think. I'm like looking at it now. I think
the Kendrick Lamar album was good.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Kendrick Lamar album was good, but like, if I was going off in terms of like what I thought was my favorite album, then like, I mean, I got a lot of plays out of Crash, Charlie XCX Crash. That was a good album. Yuck was my number one song, so I'd throw that in there. Maybe even like, I mean, I'm really just throwing in all the fucking. It's gonna sound like I'm pandering, but the new Taylor Swift album. I mean, I liked it. Karma was already on. That was on my top 5, and I only listened to that for like 1 month of when it came out. So it's like,
that album was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It was an enjoyable experience. I guess I also like the Rosalia album too. That's a good album.
I'm like looking at my likes. Oh my god, yeah, the fucking Baby Keem's album, The Melodic Blue. That was really good too. I like that. And then
that was good.
Also, fucking shout out Sam Galatry. He released VF Volume 2, and that was really good. I've been listening to that nonstop still. Shout out to Sam Galatry.
I wonder, like, there's a couple that were a little bit of a letdown. Like, I think the Steve Lacy album, Bad Habit, was like one of my favorite songs of the year, and Static was really good. But the rest of the album, to me, especially compared to his other albums, I didn't really go back to any of it. I listened to it a few times, and I was just kind of like, there's nothing here for me.
Yeah. Oh my God. If we don't say this, Prez will probably go like, shoot me, but genuinely, Loneliest Time. Fucking, what's her name? Charlie, or not Charlie. Carly Rae Jepsen. That was a good album too.
I still haven't listened to it. I still need to.
It's good.
The Biba Doobie album is also good.
I haven't listened to that.
It's really good. I know I only mostly talk about like See You Soon off it, but the whole album is nice. I like that one a lot.
I believe it. I just need to get a listen.
I think my thing this year was I was just listening to a lot of like older music. I was going back to like a lot of the classics.
Same. I'm like looking at my like songs like in order of like when I add everything, and there's a lot of like old songs on here too, where it's just like you can tell like on my fucking list of likes where it's like, oh, there's a new album out, and then I'm like, oh yeah, Matt Watson's album was really good last year.
Oh yeah, Matt Watson's album. Oh yeah, and I have to give a shout out to my friend Owen's album, Owen Rogers.
Shout Owen Rogers.
Genuinely a sick album. I was listening to a lot of Owen's music yesterday, and I always promo him, but like I have to, like it's so sick. His music is just genuinely so fucking impressive. And yeah, if you haven't checked it out, Owen Rogers on Spotify. His album Cheerful Music came out this year, and it's very nice, and Matt's album as well is very really good. It's very good. There's some like really good songs on it that I like. I'm trying to pull up my top albums in the last year on Last.fm just so I can like get a better view, because I'm actually kind of interested in this.
Another random one that like I don't know how much of an overlap our audience has with fucking ESTG, but I listened to his album. I Never Felt None. He's a Louisville rapper. He makes good music. So shout out to him.
Oh, little local shout out. I like that.
Well, I mean, he has how many monthly? He has 5 million monthly listeners, but you know. Oh
yeah, Freddie's album as well. Freddie Dredd dropped an album this year that your boys featured on in the at the very end. I thought he did a great job with that as well. But yeah, I'm like looking through my Last.fm, and I just wasn't really listening to any albums this year, to be honest.
Yeah. Let me see what mine is on Last.fm.
I know that a lot of people liked, I think that was this year, the Black Country New Road album. That one's like big in the little indie scenes, and you know, I fuck with the vision. I just never really like hit that way for me.
Wow, I just realized my top 3 were Crash, Midnights, and Loneliest Time.
Oh wow!
And then last
one's
left, 42 Dugg and ESTG. That also released in 2022, and that was a really good album. So I actually have 2 STG songs or albums on my fucking top albums of the year.
You're obsessed with that guy.
He makes good rap. I'm not gonna lie. Like I really fuck with his stuff.
He makes good rap.
He makes dang good raps.
And James Marriott's EP came out this year.
Shout out the GOAT, James Marriott.
Very good. It was very good. His music just keeps evolving and getting better. Beyonce's album came out this year, right? That was a good album.
Yeah, true. That was good.
That was a good album.
God did. DJ Khaled. I mean, he's the GOAT. We gotta give him some respect.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the Freddie Gibbs album that came out this year, I've been listening to it a little bit recently, and I've been enjoying it. It's nice. It's good. Yeah, that's I think I've like exhausted my list of albums from this year. I used to be a huge album listener. Like whenever there was an album coming out, I was just immediately on it and just listening to it the day of. But there was a new Little Sims album that I got to listen to as well, because Little Sims is like amazing. I love her.
Also, I was going to throw him in, but I didn't even really listen to his album. But I was just going to bring up the fact that, did you see on Spotify now, Bad Bunny has his own fucking custom on Spotify?
Really?
Like for fucking Un Verano Senti, it has his little fucking heart.
Wait, I got to try this out.
If you like any album, I think it's on that album or in general, I don't know. But on the album for sure, it'll pop up like after you like it, it'll have the little red heart guy.
Oh yeah, that's cool. That's
showing
good for
respect.
Him. Good for Bad Bunny. That's a very cool feature.
Oh yeah, The Weeknd also dropped, didn't he? I didn't really listen.
Was that really this year? Dawn FM.
I think it was.
I think it probably was. Yeah, it was this year. I think. Oh yeah, it was January 6th. It was exactly a year ago.
What? That's insane.
Yeah.
That's crazy. On the exact day.
That album's crazy because the people that love it, they like really ride for it, and then everyone else is kind of like, I thought this was really boring.
Yeah, I thought it was good, but I didn't like have any like, oh my god, The Weeknd about it. I was like, yeah, had some good songs.
I think if you're like a member of the general public that's not chronically online, I think it's probably really good to you because that sound I feel like has been so fucking overused online. The kind of like synth wave type shit. I'm like kind of sick of it at this point. So I just have too much exposure to it. I think that's my problem.
Yeah.
Anyways, next question, and this one I really like because this one I'm kind of obsessed with how they worded this.
Let's hear it.
Lana asked, "Do you like your lifestyle choices that have caused you to be here?" On COOLDOG, of course. Which, like,
I mean, that could go either way.
It
be
could
like,
go either way.
Like fucking, oh my God, my life is ruined. Or it could go in the way with like, oh my God, my life is made. Because it's like, I mean, I like, if you do like the butterfly effect for like everything I did, all my friends from middle school were going to one school, and there was another school that like I had family a part of that nobody was going to be going to. And it's like, as much as I wanted to go to the other school with my friends, I went to the other school that I knew nobody at, and I went there. And it's like one of those things where like, if I didn't go to that school, then like maybe I wouldn't have even done YouTube, because there's like a whole fucking trail of like butterfly effect shit where it's like, because after that I went on Discord, started talking with people, and those people were YouTubers, and they told me to do YouTube, and I did YouTube, and then blah 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 blah. But it's like, yeah, I mean, if you look at my fucking high school, like the last few years, I didn't really do much just because I was like, oh, I want to like focus on this YouTube shit, so then I don't have to go to college. And I can just like do YouTube.
That's exactly what I did too.
And it's just like, I mean, in the moment, it's one of those things where like, I'm like, oh my God, like I'm kind of throwing away like the last few years of my high school experience. But I mean, now it's like, even back then, I kind of realized I'm like, if you have a good high school experience, that's awesome. If you have a bad high school experience, whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's a moment in your life that, you know, some people hold on to forever because that's such a great time, or some people hold on to forever because they had such a terrible time. But it's one of those things where like, for me, I just like really didn't care about like giving into like, oh, you know, I'm going to do all this stuff. Like if you want to do anything in high school, I don't fucking care. Like I used to be one of those people back in the day. I'm like, I don't want to go to prom. Like I went to like 2 school dances, and then I was like, this is lame. And then I just didn't go in anymore. And then, but then I'm like looking back, I'm like, I don't fucking care. Like if anyone goes to prom, like you do what you want to do. Like go to the dance, do what you want to do in your high school experience. But I mean, like it's one of those things where like I could definitely look back and be like, damn, I just kind of threw it all away. But I mean, without it, I definitely would not be here. So I'd say positive.
Yeah, I think I like kind of, I literally just, I think at a certain point, I don't think I even started doing it really because I thought I was gonna like get a job out of this. Although in a way I was just kind of always like, yeah, I'll probably like land on my feet somehow.
Yeah.
I because I was like Estonian and like so many of my friends were American, I just like threw my sleep schedule out the window like pretty early on. Like I was just kind of like, I just liked my little American friends so much that I was like, I don't give a fuck. Like I'll go to bed at 5 a.m. every day because I just like spending time with them. Like that was kind of just my goal. I realized like that's kind of what brought me joy in life. It was kind of this like, I think I was at a crossroads in this like weird moment in my life where I had just moved, and I like the new friends I was making in school, I was just kind of like, I got a little bit unlucky, I think, with the classes that I was in, because there weren't a lot of people where I was like, oh, this is my kind of person. You know what I mean? So I ended up like compromising on a lot of my friends in school, which like most of them, there wasn't like, I can't say that they were like bad people. It was just, I don't know. Like I was too chronically online at that point, and like my like sphere of like cultural understanding was like, it was like way far away from theirs, you know? So like I felt way more happy and comfortable just talking to my my little online friends, which like I remember bringing this up to my therapist back then, and she was kind of like, well, if you don't see them in person, then like what's the point? And I remember I got really pissed off. That like that I think that was like one of the last times I saw that therapist, because that question just like, I think there's a point to be had in that, but I think at the time the way that she worded it to me felt like a little bit weird and outdated,
like a shot.
And it felt like a shot. Like the conversation that we had, just kind of like the message that I ended up walking away with was like, you shouldn't really have these friends because you're not like they're you're not gaining as much from those relationships because it's not an in-person relationship, which I've never really agreed with. You know what I mean? Like, and I've met like almost all of my internet friends now. I can only think of like a couple that I haven't met yet. And they're all awesome people in person too. So I don't really regret it. But I am getting to the point in my life where like I want to move and like live in a place where I don't have to compromise my like sleep schedule as much, you know?
I feel
I've been doing
that
it for a while now. So
I feel that. I got this question from Liv Monka. That's actually, I just want to hear, because I wonder what your answers are too, because I think I have like a couple where I'm like, I could agree or I could answer this, but I just want to see what you would say about this. Is there any fictional or real life characters you feel like you actually can? Like you feel like you resonate with, or like, that's me?
that's a really good question. I gotta pull up my letterbox real quick.
American Psycho, what's it called?
Okay,
Taxi Driver.
I have one that was growing up, and I've actually thought about this. Like, why was I like so like deeply attached to this character growing up? And looking back at it, it's like pretty glaring why. But I was like a really big Avatar: The Last Airbender fan growing up, and I was obsessed with Zuko. Like Zuko was like literally like he would be my profile picture. He would like I would always want to be a firebender just because of him, and I was just very obsessed with his whole story arc. And I mean, very clearly, it goes back to daddy issues. Both of the characters have daddy issues.
Yeah.
It's like looking back at it, it's very obvious why I was like so obsessed with him, because we were both like seeking approval from our fathers or whatever. But I mean, at one point, Lightning McQueen, like when I was a kid.
Yes. Lightning McQueen, the GOAT. That's insane.
What about you though? List off a couple of yours so I can like kind of work off it a little bit.
The only reason why I had an answer was because it came to the forefront of my brain again. Because Stoneputt's been watching Chowder, and I used to be like, I loved Chowder. Like it's one of those shows where like if I brought it up to my mom, she even loves it. Like Chowder's just such a funny show, and like I just loved Chowder, and I felt like I am Chowder. Like I was a little chubby, funny kid in school, so then seeing this little chubby, I don't even know what he is, like a cat rabbit thing, and like he would take off his shirt and he's all fat. I'm like, that's me. That's literally me. And then I felt the same. Like I just like a bunch of like that's what it was. Like I feel like most of my kid list was like a bunch of fucking fat funny kids, like Gibby. I thought I was like, I'm Gibby. I love being Gibby.
Yeah.
Or like Josh Peck, or like fucking when I got older, like fucking what's his name? Seth from Superbad. Like those are people where I'm like, yeah, I kind of resonate with them. But
yeah.
Besides like fat funny people, I don't really know how many people. Maybe like Roman Roy. I see myself.
Roman Roy. That's a good person to resonate with. That's a really
not the bad parts, like the little shit funny parts, you know? I could be a little shit unfunny.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I for some reason I'm having like some kind of like void has entered my brain, and I'm like struggling to remember like all the shows I grew up watching.
Looking around. Nacho Libre is another one. I felt like Nacho. We had the same hair, and I dressed up as for Halloween.
That was a good costume. I like that costume.
Thank you.
I don't know. Like,
wait, how about this? If you can't think of characters, are there any characters like you think of when you think of me, or like when I think of you, I think of blah 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 blah?
That's a good question. That's a very good question.
I'm trying to like turn it. I didn't even have an answer. I was just like, do you?
I don't know. Like that's a like I'm like trying to remember, because we've done that before where like we've assigned Seinfeld characters to each of us. I remember doing that
because of the Jackbox, and we're like, who is Jerry? Who's Elaine? Who's Kramer? Kramer in the show, not as a person. Okay.
Yeah, not Kramer at the Laugh Factory.
Nobody's like Kramer in real life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I forget
I was George. I was George.
I was Kramer. Weston was Jerry. Cam was Elaine.
Weston is such a Jerry.
He is Jerry. Which like makes perfect sense.
I honestly feel like, in a way, like George and Kramer make sense for the both of us, but it could be flipped as well. Like
I was gonna say, like, yeah.
George just like, I think George more so leans towards me just because I'm bald and I have glasses, and like we kind of give off the same vibe. But like kind of like the Hawaiian shirts and kind of like the little bit of goofiness of Kramer. And also like if neither of us could be Kramer, someone that would 100% be Kramer would be Nick. Nick would be
yes,
Kramer 100%.
No, definitely. If I wasn't even in the picture or you weren't in the picture, Nick would be Kramer 100%.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
Yeah, it's just like I don't really even know. Like I'm trying to think about like other shit like that we've watched where like you are that. You're that person. Because now I'm just thinking about Weston, where I'm like Kendall Roy, with the way he speaks.
Kendall Roy, I'm Logan Roy.
True, you're Logan Roy. I would be. Who would I? I mean, I guess not. I want to be Roman, but maybe I don't know.
I think you would be Roman because you have those like little witty jabs, you know, like it wouldn't be based on much other than that. Like I don't know. I think. So for me, and I've had this conversation with one of my friends before. I think sometimes I'm a little bit of a Logan, and then other times I'm a little bit of like a Greg. You know, when I'm a little bit awkward, I'm a little bit shy. When I'm like a little bit like a deer on ice, that's my Greg moment.
Also, Patrick is another one that I like sometimes as a kid I used to resonate with. I'm like, I'm
Patrick Star.
Patrick Star.
I used to resonate with SpongeBob for some reason. I felt like SpongeBob sometimes as a kid. I think it's because we had like little gaps in our teeth. I think that's why. Yeah,
I feel like most of them are now just like physical appearances. Like I feel like Patrick because I was fat. You're like you had the thing about it's because of my teeth, and then Mr. Krabs is Nick because he's a crab.
I'm literally like BoJack Horseman, man.
BoJack
Horseman is literally me.
Hell no! Get that out of here.
I don't know. Like, I think, like, I don't know why this is so hard. I think that this is why I'm struggling to move on from it. Is like, I know there's like a really good answer somewhere in the archives in my brain, and I just can't.
Just think of every single show that you used to watch. What's a show? Shout out right now.
Danny Phantom, Kids Next Door, Ed, Edd n Eddy, Kick Buttowski, Hannah Montana. I did want to be Mitchell Musso in Hannah Montana.
I wanted to be, unironically, I also wanted to be Kick Buttowski.
Oh yeah, I thought Kick was really cool, and his little friend Gunther.
But I didn't feel like Gunther. I felt like Kick, which now if I look back, maybe I'm Gunther.
What other shows? Like, That's So Raven, I used to watch a lot. Courage the Cowardly Dog. I used to think my dad was the fucking old man from Courage the Cowardly Dog.
I was gonna jokingly say you were the old man. And then
I literally used to watch Courage the Cowardly Dog, and I was like, that guy's just like my dad. Like maybe my dad's not weird after all.
Stupid dog, you make me look bad.
Yeah. So, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna fish out a good answer on this. I love thinking about shows. I love thinking shows. That's my favorite pastime, is just sitting around with people talking about media.
Consuming media.
Exactly. I just love being a little consumer, you know. That's really all I want from life. But I have to deal with these people fucking stealing my mugs off my balcony, and I don't even get started on that again.
Dude, it's your landlord. He snuck in.
Also, this person was like, how does it feel to not be able to try the Subway rice bowls? Like,
damn, I forgot about that. I forgot that you can't try Subway anymore.
The thing is, like, they probably wouldn't have even been in Estonia if it were still here. So, like, you're not eating the way you think you are, honestly.
Yeah, you thought you ate with that. but he couldn't eat because the Subways are gone. So,
Do you regret anything about how you grew your channels, or are you contempt on how the things fell into place? This is like a question. Was like, oh, you must cringe about the Reddit stuff, right? I don't care.
I don't care about the red stuff, but it's like my own content. Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
You think so?
I think it's one of those things where like now, like back then it was like, yeah, obviously it was for money, but I mean, I had fun. But then I just like look back at like, it's like almost like every 2 years, I feel like I'll look back at me like prior 2 years and then I'm like, oh my God, like I was like that. And I'm like, thank Lord I grew up. But there have been so many times I've been thinking about like just privating all my videos because I'm like I don't have that many memories with a lot of my videos, which is like, I feel like an important thing for me where I'm like, if I have a good memory about a video or like I had a good time filming a video and I generally think it's a really good video, I want to keep it up. But some of the fucking like cursed videos that I did, like I mean, they have the most views, but I could take those down like tomorrow and I would not fucking bat an eye. Like it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I just don't really like stand by the content. Plus I was like a fucking little cringe lord, I feel like back then.
Yeah, I resonate with that partly. I think some videos I am like, yeah, I don't really care for this to exist anymore. My bigger problem is that I think a lot of them, I just like the editor in me wakes up and when I rewatch them and I'm like, ugh, like I would do this so much more differently. And I really thought I was like eating by doing this, but like I wasn't. This was like it wasn't even in any way really good.
Yeah. I feel you on that.
I don't know. I try to. The way that I look at life is I'm not like one of those people that's like, oh, you shouldn't have any regrets about your life. That's not really the right way to approach a situation. I think regretting things is kind of normal sometimes, but you shouldn't dwell on the regret. What you should do instead is kind of like learn your lessons from it and just do better, do different next time. You know, that's what you kind of do in this life. You just, live and learn.
Exactly. You can't dwell on it for too long or else it's just like, what's the point of you fucking dwelling on it when you're just causing more to the problem in a way or to the regret.
It's just a spiral at that point. This question's also kind of crazy. What's the worst and best thing you've ever done? Like, I don't know, what the fuck? That's like a fucking broad ass spectrum of like, what do you mean? Worst thing, I ran over a kid in my car.
I hit my friend with like a baseball bat once. Like, oh, sue me.
And you knocked him out and you gave him
concussion.
I think you actually gave him brain damage.
Probably. And then best thing I ever did, maybe that too. You could go both ways. Maybe it was the best thing that ever happened to him. Who knows?
True. Maybe like he wouldn't have met the love of his life if he wasn't hit in the head with that bat.
Exactly.
You got to find the positivity in every situation.
Ooh, here's one.
Yeah.
If you could tattoo one thing on the other person wherever you want, where and what would it be? You gotta get a tattoo for me. I have to get a tattoo for you. I get to pick and where it is. I gotta think about this.
That's interesting. I feel like, okay, I would do it tasteful. Okay. I would. It's kind of funny that I would do this, but I would do it in like a tasteful, vague way where I would have like an artist design like just like a little neat looking dog with sunglasses. And that's it. Like it wouldn't say cool dog. It wouldn't say anything. Yeah, it would be a cool dog. And it would be like one of those things where like, if for God forbid, for some reason in the future, you're like, yeah, I regret that time in my life. That's the one thing in my content I regret was doing cool dog. It's like you can just show that tattoo and be like, oh, I just like, I don't know, I thought it was like a cool dog. Yeah, like I didn't really think of anything else. So mine's considerate, so maybe be kind to me.
Yeah, I mean, I originally was thinking like Hooverr smile on the chest because I thought it'd be kind of funny, but since you're being nice about it, I would I would get, what if I made you get like an Estonian flag on your chest?
That would I don't know how I would make myself not look like a fucking insane nationalist after that. Because that's like, I remember Jake and Austin was like, he wanted to get an Estonian flag tattoo, and then like we were like kind of joking about it being matching. I was like, no, yeah, but I can't do it though because I'm actually Estonian. So it's like, if I do it, it's actually like some kind of statement. You know what I mean? Like I'm kind of like Dua Lipa, who's like an Albanian nationalist. Like I don't want to do that.
I would get a little Moomin tattoo, and I'd put it on your thigh.
Oh, I'm actually planning on doing something like that anyway, so you'd be saving me the
See,
trouble.
that's what I mean. I knew it'd be good. I knew it'd be an actual good tattoo.
See, you know me too
And
well, man.
and he'd be holding a Hooverr smell banner. Be holding it up.
Oh, okay. Way to insert yourself into that situation.
Self-insert fanfic. Moomin holding up Hooverr smile.
Anyways, it's been a good episode, I reckon. It's been a good little episode. Thank you for listening, as always. We appreciate your presence. Thank you for all the questions. You guys did great. It's not yet the last episode in that setup, but we're getting there. You know, we probably have a few more left in the tank until Hooverr gets out of Austin, and you'll never see that little room again.
Exactly. You'll start seeing less and less of my room. Already missing the bed. But who knows what could go next? I think maybe that might go, or that might go. I don't know.
The craziest part is, like, the most likely outcome is that, like, a family's going to move into that house.
I know. That's what I've been saying. It's, like, insane to think about.
Literally. And, like, before, you know, us little influencers crawled in that building, there were also families in there. So it's, like, it's kind of weird that, like, this house has this, like, random history of just, like, young people with no kids living in there.
I know. It's, like, I just, like, the thing I was thinking about that's, like, crazy, which, I mean, to most people in the world, this does not sound crazy at all, but just being in this room for, like, almost 2 years now, it's crazy to think about the fact that most likely somebody's going to move in this room and just use it to sleep. Like, there's not going to be a setup right here. They might have, like a shelf of, like, they're just going to use the closet for clothes and not for, like, random fucking props or a stream or, like, whatever. Like, it's weird to think about, like, just being like a room and not, like, almost in a way, like, kind of a content room.
Yeah,
but it's gonna be that.
Yeah,
most likely.
Well, I actually think the same thing about my bedroom, because I like my bed came with the apartment, and I always think about, like, I wonder, like, all the people that have had sex on this thing. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder what the count is, because it's not a question of have they, it's a question of how many. And did they have a good time? Did they enjoy themselves?
Did they release some liquid on that mattress?
Hopefully not. That would
get a black light out and do some searching.
That would actually be kind of crazy. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should.
That'd be crazy.
Maybe I should do a little experiment, and then I find out that I've been sleeping on, like, 6 cubic tons of cum for the last year.
And piss.
Well, that would be even more questionable. You know, the cum, I'd be like, okay, it happens. You can't control it all. But, like, pee, I'd be like, what the fuck were these people doing in here in my fucking bedroom? But what if there's
just, like, a little kid that got scared?
What the hell were they doing in that bedroom? There's a second bedroom. They can pee in that one, which is this room, by the way. This, I think, prior to me moving in here, was like a little kid's bedroom, but now it's my awesome office.
That's crazy. That's insane to think about.
Thank you for listening. You guys are amazing. Leave a like, leave a comment. What tattoos would you give us, and where would you put them? Thanks a lot for listening.
And Jimmy Carter, will we be seeing you throughout the whole year? Who knows?
Watch your back.
Because Aksel is planning something.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
He's not.